The chamber is ready, Master Garius. The ritual may begin whenever you wish.
Very well. Where are the Shadow Priests?
They took their leave, Master, once they were done preparing the chamber for the ritual.
Deal with them when we are done here. After this night, we shall have no further use for them, or their King of Shadows.
It shall be as you command, Garius.
Then let us begin the ritual. Order the rest of the Brotherhood here at once. After all, we wouldn't want to keep Neverwinter waiting.
That farmer, they didn't even bury him. They just left him for the vultures. Why would they do this? It's monstrous. Thank you. This poor man deserves as much.
I'm with the many-starred cloaks. This way, quickly, before you give us away. The Luskins change guard shifts around this time, moving men in and out of the keep. If we strike hard and fast, we'll take the courtyard and be inside the keep before they realize what's going on. Around 20 Luskin soldiers in the courtyard, most of them asleep, and a handful more inside the keep. The Arcane Brotherhood wizards will be more of a challenge, but we can handle them. Luskin is just probing our defenses. The hostile wouldn't risk too many wizards on this sort of mission. Looks like there's still some time before the next shift change. So let's sit back and let them sleep a little longer, shall we? It's time! The Luskins are opening the doors. Ready? The doors! Get to the doors!
We're under attack! You men, get back in there and seal the doors! Rally to me! Push these dogs back!
You four, ignore them. Keep concentrating. The rest of you, kill them. Idiots, you're not focusing. What have you done to me?
Forgive me, Master Aldenon. I'm afraid I do not understand.
Very well. Let us set aside the broader metaphor of the stone and narrow our attention to the fact that it has been cleft in two, which, while not a fact, is a smaller metaphor than the first. You see, at first glance, the two halves both appear as separate stones, but they were both once one stone, yet not. Do you follow?
Ah, welcome. I was just speaking with Master Aldenon concerning one of the prisoners you recovered from Garius. A woman, but not of Neverwinter or Luskin, or even perhaps this plane of existence. The prisoner has asked for you, personally. I was hoping you might be able to help us out concerning her identity, or her intentions. Aldenon has a theory, but I'm afraid...
If you both would simply listen! The comparison to a rock, a big rock, is a simple one, almost perfect. This prisoner you have, it seems that she is of the same stone as the Githyanki, but yet she is not. You see, both were once one people. At one time, even though time is a very difficult thing to measure depending on the plane, and that's not counting time in the astral plane or on...
Forgive me, Aldenon. Is this prisoner a threat or not?
Oh, I don't know that. I do know that the Gitzerai and the Githyanki have been in a state of war for millennia. It is common knowledge.
Of course, an oversight on my part.
So I should think if your young lieutenant here, well met again by the way, you seem to be everywhere, is hunted by the Githyanki, then the Gitzerai and this Gitzerai prisoner would be allies by default. But I could be mistaken. I suppose we could see if she tries to kill any of us, but that test has numerous procedural flaws in its execution, if you will pardon the semantics. She seemed reasonable enough when we spoke together in Crossroad Keep, but there was a foot of stone between us, which is notoriously hard for a blade to cut through to kill someone on the other side. And speaking of Crossroad Keep, I am rather anxious to return there, so if you would both excuse me, I will set out there at once to see if we can dig anything out of the library there. Good day, and I hope the prisoner doesn't attempt to kill you. She didn't seem the type, but you know how assassins are.
Despite the advice of Master Aldenon, I think it would be best if you simply spoke to the prisoner and let this matter sort itself out, without further speculation.
I felt your presence before my eyes fell upon you, Kalakcha. Step forward. Let me look upon you. Allied with those whose will echoes Gith's hatred, I trust you meant no insult, Kalakcha. I have no blade to your throat, yet the Githyanki would sooner kill you than speak to you. Know that is the reverse of the direction my people travel. Know this name our enemies have draped upon you, this Kalakcha. Its sound travels far, even reaching the ears of my people. At first, my people thought our enemies had erred, that they did not know that of which they speak. But here, now, as you stand in my presence, I see the truth. I did not think it possible, but the key by which you may know yourself lies within you. I know much of the problems that beset your people and mine, the reason behind these attacks upon your heart and home. You will have no greater ally in this than I. In exchange for my aid, it is my will I be freed, so that I might travel with you and aid you against these enemies. This cell is abhorrent to me. It is a shackle of stone encasing me. It causes memories of the ways of the Illithids to surface in my mind. I have borne this indignity because I knew that it would bring you to me, and a greater truth will be known.
I heard you were here. You fought bravely, and we took them almost completely by surprise. You are to be commended, both for your efforts and the lives spared this day. Had you not been there, we would have many less brave men standing with us today, along with what may be the key to taking this battle to our enemies.
In freeing me, know you have gained more than you ever would have torn from the lips and thoughts of our enemies.
Then speak. Aldenon does not think you are allied with these enemies, these Githyanki, and his word carries weight with me, fortunately for you.
Then know the trade between us is this. Release me from this prison. Let my path become that of the Kalakcha. In return, I will grant you the knowing of this threat, and all the darkness its shadow casts.
We promise an honest hearing, and if your tale rings true, we will grant your freedom.
Then listen to me, and know this threat for what it is. But we cannot do it here, in this prison where my words echo and the shadows fall thick around us.
And why should we allow your freedom until we hear what you have to say?
Because if you deny me that, then anything I can do to aid you will prove useless. I seek to know this plane, this world that I am to help you save, and to speak honestly to it, so that it might hear what strikes at its heart. And that means that I must see your lands, what you would spill blood for, and what you have spilled blood for.
Then I know of just the place where you can see what we fight for. Make your way back to Crossroad Keep as soon as you are able. I shall meet you there. It's seen better days, and will again. This keep was destroyed during the war with the King of Shadows. It was a dark time for Neverwinter, but we persevered, as you have this day. I have brought you back here under orders, for Lord Nasher has a new task for you, and perhaps our guest can see what it is you'll be fighting for in the coming days. These people you see around you, they are now yours to command as you see fit. You are their captain in Neverwinter's service. Make this keep ready for war. Gather troops to your banner, and be prepared to strike when this enemy reveals itself. To help you manage the keep, Lord Nasher has assigned you an officer, Kana, and Master Vidal has been contracted to help you rebuild the keep and the surrounding area. You are the master of this keep now. You have earned it through service and blood, and you have earned my trust, and that of Lord Nasher. This is your land. Defend it, For the sake of your people and the sake of Neverwinter.
Look, even now shadows fall upon this plain, yet still its beauty persists. It is not surprising to me that our enemies wish to mar this place with their blades and their war. Know this. The first glimpses of this conflict you have seen are not the first. They are but glimpses of things that travel well into the past and the present. It is all part of a greater war, a war almost as great as the one that split my people on the sword of Gith long ago. And the tragedy is tied to such a blade. These shadows you see, there is a lord who dwells in darkness with them, and he has fought on this plain before against those who have embraced Gith's hatred, the Githyanki. This lord and the Githyanki, it is difficult to know the true hatred between them. He attacked them long ago, attempted to cast his shadows upon their fortresses in the plains beyond. The fighting was terrible, fierce, and it was only through the deaths of thousands of Githyanki that this king of shadows was driven back. But no matter how many countless thousands of their people they lost, they were only capable of severing the portal through which he could attack them. And so, the Githyanki were denied a victory and forestalled their war for a time. But know that the Githyanki do not forget their enemies. And though the King of Shadows had been driven back, still they sought a way to reach him, to kill him. And as terrible as knowing the followers of Gith hunt for you, even more dangerous is this lord, this King of Shadows. Know that I will aid you if I can, but it may already be too late. The King of Shadows was not always tied to darkness, and that is part of the tragedy. His will was once devoted to an ancient empire, to the protection of its people. He was once the light of Ilfarn, empowered with the strength to protect them from their enemies, and he was bound to the natural magics of the plane, the weave. But as much as a ritual created the guardian that was to be Shadow, there is a ritual that will unmake him. It is a ritual of purification, designed to allow him peace when his days of sacrifice are done and the Empire needs him no longer. If the ritual does exist, it lies within the ruined Ilfarn city of Arvan. It is there you must go to purify yourself and gain the strength for the battle ahead. I have marked the location upon your map. Know that this path is a dangerous one. Even the people of Ilfarn, as powerful as they were unable to defeat the King of Shadows. But know that this ritual of purification and the blade of our enemies are the only chance of success in this. He can already make his presence felt beyond his chains. The advantage is his. If you cannot strike at an enemy, know your battle is already lost. You doubt me, and that is because you do not know me. You need allies, Kalakcha, not more enemies and doubt to divide you. For in dividing the mind, you divide the battlefield and you cut your strength in half. I am a Zerth, and I swear upon the circle of Zerthamon that what I speak to you I know to be true. And know that your life is as precious to me as it is for the followers of Gith to end it. And this king, know that he threatens us all. This title of Kalakcha, do you know it? You wear that title because the name knows you, even if you do not know it yourself. But let me speak my thought plainly, without circles of meaning. They call you the Shard-Bearer, this Kalakcha, because you carry a piece of Gith's blade within you, near the heart, and you have always borne it close to you. It was once said that Gith's blade, once drawn, would never find a scabbard again. And now it is sheathed within you. It sings, and they can hear it as I hear it, whispering all the hate of Gith and the war she sought to bring to the plains. A war that would have ended us all if Zerthamon had not met her blade with his at the pronouncement of two skies. Know that you are the only one who can reforge Gith's blade and use it once more in a battle. A battle that will free your lands and people from an evil even greater than the evil the Illithid sought to bring upon my people. There is no other. And if the title of Kalak-Cha displeases you, then know that you must make another title, and perhaps your name shall be the battle cry by which this ancient enemy, this King of Shadows, will be defeated. I make this pronouncement to you, greater than the bond of two deaths as one, with a strength that echoes the pronouncement of two skies. I make the pronouncement of three in darkness, two in light. As the two of us shall meet this king in his fortress, it shall become a battle of three. And when it is over, the two of us shall walk in the light, and you will taste true freedom, just as Gith and Zerthamon did when they broke the will of the Illithid at Sagrasa's end. It is my life I am giving you, Kalak-Cha, and I ask that you let me share your path with you. Then we shall speak no more of it, now that my vow is spoken. Now we must travel to the ruins of the culture of Ilfarn, and there undergo the rituals you will need to arm your spirit against the King of Shadows. I have marked the location of the city on your map. There we shall find what we seek and complete the ritual of purification.
Officer Kana, reporting for duty, Captain. Lord Nasher has given you a great honor. But rebuilding these grounds will be a considerable undertaking.
And one I look forward to. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Captain. I am Master Vidal. I won't lie to you. This keep is in a sad state of repair. We will need all the resources you can bring to bear to fix her up. With the help of my crew, we can turn this place into a true masterpiece of engineering.
Master Vidal is excellent at his craft and capable of what he claims, if somewhat eccentric.
I went ahead and inspected the grounds. There is much work that needs to be done. The courtyard itself is in a shambles, but that can be fixed quickly. Strong backs and long hours and you'll see the shape of the keep. And, well, what's underneath won't be pretty, but before long we'll have the keep cleared out for you. We're embarking on a true adventure. Men, set the camp over there. I'll draw up plans for the work.
There are preparations I must make. Come speak to me within the keep when you would like an update, Captain. It is an honor to serve, Captain. You have been rewarded greatly with this stronghold. Long have I waited for my blade to be in the service of someone worthy. My waiting is over. You are too modest. We are the ship, and you are the wind that moves us. There is much yet that needs to be done. Rebuilding the keep itself, Master Vidal can handle. But training the Grey Cloaks to defend its battlements is very important. Training a few men can be done quickly with the right teachers. But Sir Naval has promised 100 men for you shortly. And if the keep grows, so will your retinue and your command. So, we must start with the basics and turn these farmers and shepherds into fighting men. There are a few families of farmers that will want protection from the local keep, as they had in years past. This section of the high road has also been plagued with bandits since Crossroad Keep fell to the King of Shadows long ago. We have been given the right to tie the merchant trains that come through, but until the road is made safe, any tithe collectors will find the road empty. Merchants prefer safer, longer roads, especially if they make more profit. But all of this relies on training your Grey Cloaks into capable soldiers. I will carry out your orders when you are away. Once the men are trained, there are more things they can do. As our numbers swell here, I could use more able sergeants to oversee the men. I can train and assign tasks to sergeants if you find some for me. The decisions you make here may have a large impact on the cloaks and the people on your land. After some time, I'm certain Lord Nasher will have direct orders for your men. But until then, they are yours to command.
One thing. I had a favor, really. I keep hearing about this tome of Ilkazar. And if I recall correctly, it has a few fascinating chapters on golem craft. Well, if we were to get a hold of it, we might be able to use it to help upgrade the construct. I mean, he's walking around and healthy as golems go. But I only know so much about golems. There may be something I missed that could help him that would be in the tome. That's what I say. So glad you agreed. I was worried this was one of those times when I had a bad idea.
So what does the great captain of Crossroad Keep want with his humble tracker? Something you want hunted down, my lord, or some forsaken path scouted? Is that a command, or just your opinion? Hard to tell nowadays, you being part of the nobility and all. Is that how you want to spend the rest of your days? With a squire by your side, a painted shield, and some pathetic code of honor to keep your back stiff as a board? No, maybe not. But it's hard to tell past the word sometimes, and that makes me a little suspicious. You treat me like one of your lackeys, you'll regret it. And God's help you if you try and order me around. I'm my own man. Got it? Now, is that all? Or did you have some orders for me?
There's a matter that requires your attention, Captain. There's a group of people here to see you.
It is a pleasure to meet you. You've made a bit of a name for yourself, and me and my band were hoping to impose upon you. You see, we want to follow in your footsteps and become adventurers. So we've pooled our resources to equip ourselves. And now all we need is a mission that will get us gold and riches.
Now, it's not just about that, David. It's also about making the realms a safer place. Too much mischief afoot these days, if you ask me.
Right you are, Brother Maxwell. So, do you have any work for us?
I never sounded that way when I was starting off. And if I did...
Besides my arcane skill and Brother Maxwell's blessings, Juin and Candrel have been practicing bladecraft since they were girls. We can handle danger.
Near Port Last, we've heard rumors that the Luskins are plotting something. If I had any spare men, I'd send them to investigate.
You hear that? Now that's an adventure. Let's take the high road then.
It's just a rumor. It could be nothing. Wait!
Make sure you have enough rations for the journey, and don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this.
I fear we've set those poor fools on a dangerous course.
Ah, you have returned. You still have the shard, don't you? Make your visit brief. You put us all at risk with your return. Is that the sarcasm of humans that I detect? Sometimes it is so difficult to tell. I sense one task only led to another. Such is the way. What seems a simple thread is often part of a complex tapestry. Did not take long for our foe to discover that you had left. I fear you must have faced him on the road to Neverwinter. Does he still hunt you? I'll get Yankee. I've heard their names mentioned only once or twice in passing. Invaders from the outer plains. A fierce foe. When she was a little older than you, adventure sought her out as well. We met in a tavern and were drawn together by mutual necessity. There were others with us, and some tales of our adventures were told. But not all such stories end well. One day we both realized that of the original band, only we were left. I had had enough of death, especially of those close to me. Your mother was spun of a different silk and maintained her vitality in spite of loss. When I settled in West Harbor with my Shayla, she would visit us from time to time. A heart can heal over time. I had become content. One day when Esmerelle returned, she was thick with child. You. Those were good times. Before you ask, she never mentioned any details about your father. And in my homeland, we respect such silence. Then, I lost everything. Again, I cannot speak of this anymore. Please, leave me.
Ah, I heard you came back, yes? I'm afraid my new apprentice is barely adequate. You probably are here for some sort of reason, I imagine. None. We haven't seen or heard of them since you left. I suspect that you, however, saw more of them, yes? Whatever you took from the village is the only thing they cared about. I've investigated that matter for many years, searching for any clues about the demonic army. And in the short time since you've left, there haven't been any remarkable breakthroughs. There may never be any. Interesting. I was unaware of this. Perhaps I should question your foster father more closely about the events of that time. Dagon leaves me to my business, and I leave him to his. But my research must come first. I am not some street peddler of minor magics. However, I could always use more coin. Very well.
Back again? It might be time for me to find something a little more challenging. These orcs were tough, but, well, I think I'm due for a change of scenery. Maybe there's a nobleman in Neverwinter who needs an extra blade by their side. Well, judging from what you've done out here, I'll wager you definitely have interesting work for me. All right, I'm in. You just got yourself a sergeant. I'll be here for a while longer, but I will join you at Crossroad Keep soon enough.
Captain, there's a sheriff from a nearby village that wants your help.
Well met to you, Captain. I'm the Sheriff of Leaves. We're a small village just south of your patrols.
Our patrols have made some of the bandits go elsewhere, in search of easier pickings.
Which sends them right to Leaves, I'm afraid. The bandits have raided our village twice. First time just to steal our pigs, but we're thinking it's going to get worse.
So Leaves wants us to send regular patrols their way to stop them.
Your Lady Conna has the straight of it. It's a lot to ask, I know, but we're desperate.
If we send men over there, those are men we won't have for our own patrols and duty. It could set us back on our own front. The decision is yours.
There's no way my village can thank you enough, Captain. Thank you.
Sending half our men out? Captain, that will severely limit our effectiveness until it's done. I hope you've made the right call. How may I be of service?
There you are! There's Connor, my compatriot, and now the captain, eh? It's me, you know, David. My fellows and I have been adventuring for some time. You got my note about Port Last, right? Your Connor was right, you know. Dark deeds happening on the Luskan border. After that, we took to the road and I found an old lady and rescued a cat. We each got an apple.
Ooh, apples! Those red things that are so crunchy and delicious. Or am I thinking of crimson venom spiders?
Well, if it had been the captain doing it, the cat would be lost, the tree burned down, and the old lady would be traveling with us now.
Keep to the point, David. Let's not take up any more of the captain's time.
Right you are. Should I ask him about rumors? No, I'm sure the innkeep will have those. Do you know of any jobs for an adventurer?
I still don't think these adventurers are ready to face anything more difficult than a sickly kobold.
We learned a great deal in Port Last, and after that, Juin and Candrel bought new armor, and I've mastered more difficult spells. We aren't as powerful as you, but we can take care of ourselves.
The King of Shadows? Why, yes.
Juin, Candrel, we have our quest to find out about the King of Shadows. Pack the saddlebags on the horses. There must be clues around. Adventure awaits!
Sorry, Captain. David can be, well, you know. Blessings to you all.
One of these days, Captain. You know you're going to get them all killed.
So the town remains. Let us see if what I seek is here as well.
We have arrived. I can still feel the touch of Ilfarn around us and beneath us. It may seem that way to the eyes, but know there is power here, enough to turn the tide of the battle to come. Know that we must find the 5 statues of Angarad if we are to complete the ritual of purification. These statues are within these ruins, if our sources are true. Without undergoing the ritual, we cannot defeat the King of Shadows. We must make haste. The sooner we complete the ritual, the sooner we can take the battle to our enemy.
In ancient times, the Guardian was created to protect Ilfarn. If the time has come to dismantle our great instrument, you will be an agent of its destruction. Take this blessing of camaraderie. May its power strike down all who oppose you and your allies.
The first part of the ritual is complete. Our enemy's home is everywhere darkness lies. Know that though the King of Shadows may become legions, this ritual may still be used to drive him back.
In ancient times, the Guardian was created to protect Ilfarn. If the time has come to dismantle our great instrument, you will be an agent of its destruction. Take this blessing of protection. May it guard you against the forces of darkness.
The second part of the ritual is complete. Each part of the ritual prepares you for what is to come. Our enemy wears many forms, but all of them are darkness. Know that when you surround yourself with the power this ritual bestows, you can protect yourself from his reach. Keep this shield close in the dark places in which we walk.
The dust upon the floor stirs beneath your feet. What brings one of flesh and blood to this empire of spirits? Has the Guardian returned, then? I heard the whispers, but I did not believe. His echoes are strong in this place, and the tides of spirits ebb and flow, signifying little. Perhaps I do. Ages pass and names change. I have existed longer as a spirit than as a breathing, blooded elf, and I know little of the world beyond my books. The Guardian was once a man, a hero of Ilfarn in days long gone. He saw more clearly than most. He saw the threats that might destroy all we had built, and he sacrificed everything that our empire might live. A creature of magic he became, and an extension of the very weave. Our enemies, the men of Netheril, feared to face him, so they turned their eyes to weaker prey. By the Guardian's sacrifice, Ilfarn was saved. The weave is the source of magic, that which fuels the art. It is the heartblood of mages and sorcerers alike. We thought the weave eternal, an endless font of life from which the Guardian might draw. In this, we were wrong. The weave failed, and the Guardian faced a choice. Allow himself to die and leave Ilfarn undefended, or draw his life from another source. For the sake of his people, the Guardian turned to the weave's dark twin, and thus he became a creature of shadow. Yes, though I prefer to remember him as the man he once was. I am merely a historian, and my judgments are of little consequence. Speak to others who knew him if you wish to answer that question for yourself. Their spirits linger here still. The statue lies within the stone communion tree, a blending of arboreal and terrestrial. It symbolized the union of Ilfarn's dwarven and elven peoples. Opening the tree requires similar unity. 3 elves and 3 dwarves of Ilfarn spaced equally around its trunk. Without these 6, the tree will remain closed to you. The spirits of Ilfarn dwell here. Elves and dwarves who were bound closely to the Guardian and the man he was in life. His memory hangs heavy on their souls. If you gather these spirits to you, then the tree shall open to reveal what it cradles within. No, I am not like them. They are bound here against their wills, but I have chosen to guard these scrolls. It is not so simple. Just as the Guardian has fallen into shadow, so have those who were tied to him. Their torment has spawned a legion of foul undead, manifestations of their pain and sorrow. Destroy these undead, and I believe their spirits would reappear, for a time at least. Yes, but there is more. More that is my doing, I'm afraid. If you intend to bring spirits to the communion tree, you must undo the wards on the walls of these ruins, the ghost lights which keep the spirits at bay. They are the wards designed to shelter and trap the spirits within these ruins so they cannot spread their taint beyond this place. To your eyes, the ghost lights glow with a blue light, but to the spirits of my people, the glow is like that of the sun, a searing light that they cannot approach. As long as the ghost lights burn, the spirits cannot reach the tree. The touch of the living is enough. When they are touched by one that lives, they will go out. And once they are extinguished, the spirits may pass. My knowledge is yours. The memories of our empire are painful ones. Even to speak of it now is difficult. At times I wonder if perhaps my memories of Ilfarn are a dream. But always, the books here center my thoughts and remind me of the truth of what once was. I know not the name of the lands that surround us now, but once, long ago, it was a unified empire, lands that welcomed humans and dwarves within its borders. Together, these people achieved a strength seldom seen in those times. But as all empires have a beginning, the end must come as well. Perhaps we erred in seeking to prevent that end. But it is difficult to simply let something one loves die without fighting to protect it. We had enemies, as all empires do. The orc tribes of the north plagued our borders. But our greatest enemies were the humans of Netheril, who took the magics that we had shared with them and built an empire of their own. But their empire grew so swiftly and wild. The people of Ilfarn had grown slowly and carefully, like a garden, but the humans of Netheril had little patience for such things. As they tasted power, they hungered for more. We meant no harm in sharing our knowledge. We had assumed that it would be used as we used it, carefully, responsibly. The Netherese were like children, playing with the land and the skies as if they were toys for their amusement. The art is not meant for such things, and terrible are the consequences of abusing such power. But the fall of our empire came not from them. The darkness that came upon us had another source. Yes, when the Guardian turned to the Shadow Weave, our empire crumbled. Our trees withered, their lives drained to feed his. Our people simply waned. Dwarves set down their tools and stared numbly as their forges went cold. Elves lay down in their forests, motionless for days and weeks as the wild things grew and smothered them. A few of us fled to the outer reaches of Iltharn, where the Guardian shadow was still weak. There we plotted to end him. Understand this. The Guardian was an embodiment of the Weave with a singular purpose. That purpose was to preserve Iltharn and to destroy its enemies should they attack. A ritual was devised to create the Guardian. It was meant to obliterate the man he was, leaving only his resolve to defend our nation. This was his sacrifice. Whether anything remained of the man I knew, I cannot say. At the time, we did not know. Even now, I have only scraps of truth, gleaned from hapless visitors to this place in the early years of my undeath. As far as I know, the fault lies with the Netherese mage, Karsus. He tried to take control of the Weave to become the new god of magic. This was madness, and he failed, of course. But in failing, he slew the goddess of magic. She was reborn moments later, but in that instant, all magic failed. That was the end for Netheril's floating cities, and it should have been the end for our Guardian as well. Yes, and in so doing he doomed that which he sought to protect. 3 times we tried to end him, and only on the 3rd attempt did we partially succeed. Yes, we walled him up within the plane of shadows, or rather, others did. By that time I was dead, and I have no memories of how that victory was won.